Hi guys, Kaze here, welcome back. I totally flubbed the opening. So if you see my mouth moving and it doesn't anything happen, I forgot to turn my mic. Anyway, we're on chapter 6, I believe. Although I think, I can't tell, I forgot. No, chapter 5, my bad. Haha, chapter 5, sorry. Alright, we're in chapter 5 and we're in December, so anyway, let's get going. Sorry about that. I'm about to go to the market when I hear a car coming up the path. I think about Frank right away, and as he said, he was coming back these days, and must be eager to talk. We wouldn't hope, right? I'm surprised to see a big black sedan park in the yard. Oh, guess not Frank's car. But when I see the large Slytherin with graying hair coming out of the driver's seat, I realize it was Yves Maltier. And to be honest, more than 1 month after the cocktail, I wasn't waiting for him anymore. He waves at me, goes around the car and takes a big file from the passenger seat, then walks in my direction. I guess he's ready now, huh? He's brandishing his file like a trophy. Good morning, Daphne. As you can witness, we've been working very hard, my daughter and I. I see. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. I think. Hello? Ah! Listen, yeah. Yes, you're wasting your time. I don't want to open my home to strangers. Please, allow me to insist. What you've prepared for you is very interesting, I assure you. Fine, I'll give you 2 minutes. Alright, you have 2 minutes to convince me. You won't regret it. The financial setup is very interesting, you'll see. He rummages around his file, balancing precariously on his knee. In my corner of my eye, I noticed Mr. Bulletin walk up the path, a rifle in his hand. Hello, Miss Daphne. Miss Maltier. He stands by my side, gun in hand, as if he was ready to use it. Are you alright? Mr. Maltier isn't bothering you, I hope. Listen, Gerard, I was just chatting with Miss Delator. If you don't mind giving us some privacy, please. It's okay, Mr. Bulletin. No. Okay, 2 minutes are up. Bye-bye. Miss Maltier was up. We heard a car coming up the path, and we all direct our attention to the entrance of the yard. What's the point of that answer? Who's that? A small Brenshill car gets inside and parks next to the castle's front door. A tall woman of a certain age gets out of the car and walks toward us with a assured pace. Mom? I guess it's high time I arrived. Mom! Looking at Yves Maltier, she says, hello. Wait. Oh, the first one. Okay, I'm like, why are you saying hello to him? Hello, Daphne. Gerard. Yes, madam. Please, fire a warning shot, will you? Mr. Boyton looks at me waiting for confirmation. As I'm not reacting, he complies and fires upward. Yves lost a smile and looks at my mother sideways. Listen, Sophie, be reasonable for a change. We haven't seen each other for 30 years. Do you really want... Completely ignoring Yves Maltier, my mother turns to Mr. Boitin. Gerard? Yes, madam? You can fire a second shot at Yves if he isn't left the property in 30 seconds. Very well, madam. Then, I'd like you to bring my luggage to the yellow bedroom in Westwood. Of course, madam. Oh, and send Gilberta, please. I'd like her to make us a coffee. I need to have a talk with my daughter. I'm guessing he left. I follow Mom into the living room. A few seconds later, we hear the sound of squealing tires in the courtyard, and the noise of the engine dying in the distance. Go, Mom. Shoot badass. Did you get my mail? Yes, but in September, as you can witness, I have already accepted the heritage. It's like, no, I'm just chilling here, Mom. Don't worry about it. I mean, obviously, I'm totally got your message, and yeah, you know, just totally listen to you. I did a good job of listening. You could have acted sooner. Yeah, why did you act sooner? But I don't understand. Why did you need to warn me? That would have been more useful. Are you kidding? I arrived, find Mr. Yasmonte in the courtyard, and you're asking me why I warned you? I came back as fast as I possibly could, but it seems I was already too late anyway. Sorry, my bad. What were you doing in Asia? When you got your scholarship, your life was on track, and I no longer had to worry about your future, so I decided to go back to school. I had enough of being going from crap job to another, so I took a correspondence course in international trade. 3 years ago, I was hired by an investment bank. They really offered me a promotion, but I had to move to Hong Kong. Since you burned the bridges, I thought you were safe. Anyway, safe from these family issues, I agreed to go. How could I foresee your grandmother would pull this trick on me? Even in the grave, she continues being a nuisance. I sent you this letter as soon as I heard your grandmother was dead, thanks to the family notary who contacted me out of courtesy. I tried to take a leave of absence, but I was working on a large deal. My boss insisted that I stay until we signed. Of course, it took longer than I would have liked. Something doesn't add up. You're the direct heiress, so you should have been the one to succeed, shouldn't you? She kind of left home and ran away. Your grandmother made me sign a paper stipulating I would renounce the inheritance when I left the village. I thought it would protect you, but I'm not a lawyer, and knowing your grandmother, she must have found a way to bend the law her way. She must foresee it would happen that way. You need to tell me. On one side, Grandma seems to have planned everything to make sure I got the house. On the other, you're telling me I should have refused the inheritance. I know there are strange things going on here, and this quarrel with the Maltese. But don't you think I have the right to know my origins? I don't know your grasp and gravity of the situation. Until then, Yves didn't know you existed. Now he knows who you are, and it changes everything. Like, what, Mom? What does it change? Tell me then! Why cut me off from the rest of the family? Why putting so much effort to keep me in the dark? Very well. Listen carefully and answer me honestly, can you? I nod in agreement. Did you have strange dreams? I mean, what? Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yes, I'm having a recurring dream about a sphinx and a kind of creature. I knew it. But she cuts me off before I could go on. Were there strange accidents since you came here? Not you two. I didn't do it on purpose. Yes, it happened, but how could I have known I was capable of doing this? It's worse than I thought. No one told me. The hand gesture, she asked me to stop talking. Another thing. Did you find the entrance of the tower? No, I didn't, and no one was able to tell me where it was. Okay, what do you think there's inside? Source of magical energy, a place of worship, a library? Considering what everyone seems to be thinking, maybe a source of magical energy. The tower is built on a kind of vortex of magical energy, right? In fact, it is built over an old place of worship. And more importantly, it contains the archives. The archives? Well, yes, I don't know what you were imagining, but the reality is certainly much less exciting than your very active imagination. Sorry. I didn't notice her coming in, but Miss Boynton had served us a cup of coffee. Gilberte? Yes, madam. Tell Gerard to come to the basement. Very well, madam. Will it be all? No. Ask him to bring a pickaxe, please. I followed Mom to the basement. We went through the wine cellar, then we take a corridor. We go through a little room, then another, where some old furniture was stored. There's an old tapestry depicting a hut which covers almost entirely the wall in front of us. I don't remember going in there during my expedition, when I was myself looking for the entrance of the tower. Do you feel something? I get closer to the wall, asking myself what my mother is pointing at, and indeed I feel an almost imperceptible vibration. It gives me goosebumps for an instant. Yes, some sort of I suddenly stop talking as, turning around to my mother, I read some kind of profound sadness in her gaze. As I'm about to talk again, we hear a noise coming from behind. Ah, here comes Gerard. Gerard, can you put the tapestry down, please? Mr. Borgstein complies, and I jump in to help him. Let Gerard do it, Daphne. You're going to get dirty. Mom, you're exaggerating. Mr. Borgstein is not your slave. Yes, you're right. I just got here and I'm back to my old ways. When we left everything behind, so you wouldn't be raised with these horrendous values. Excuse me, Gerard. I'll be more inconsiderate. You know, with my go-brother, we're happy to lend a hand, and we don't do this for you, but for your daughter. But don't forget, we're retired. We're no longer in our prime. Moving the tapestry to the other side of the room, Mom and I on the side, and Mr. Borgstein on the other. Could you break the wall here, Gerard? She points to a location in the middle of the wall. There's some planks behind the plaster. It shouldn't give you much resistance. And indeed, a few minutes later, the planks that were hiding the entrance of the tower have been torn apart, revealing a wooden door. Oh my, I never would have guessed the door was there. Mom opens a drawer of a nearby cupboard and takes out a large, finely worked key. Do you want to see what's inside, Gerard? Oh no, madam, I'll come back later. You must have a lot to discuss with your daughter. I'll go back home if you don't need a guy anymore. Of course. Thank you, Gerard. Mr. Borgstein salutes us with a nod. Oh, and Gerard? Yes? Thank you for taking care of Daphne during my absence. No, thanks, Mom. We get inside the tower, and after going up a flight of stairs, I discover a large room, dimmed in the darkness. Mom takes a candelabra. I can't say that word. From a table and lights up the candles with the matches that have been left next to it. She then proceeds to light the other candles spread all around the room, and little by little a soft light illuminates a large circular space. The floor is made of a huge granite stone on which were carved and interlaced geometric shapes. Basaltic origins are obvious in the patterns used and by the way the ornaments were done, but they are very well preserved in contrast with most ruins from the antiquity that have been exposed to centuries of bad weather. The walls are covered with shelves loaded with documents, either books with leather covers or scrolls rolled upon themselves. You stay quiet for a moment, and Mom breaks the silence. This is your legacy, Daphne. What's inside all these books? It is the memory of the village, the most ancient, written by our ancestors 1,000 years ago. The tower was built on the site of an old place of worship because there seemed to be some kind of magnetic anomaly that helps preserve them. Yes, it feels like this place is special. There's a strange quality in the air. Is that why there's almost no dust and no moisture? Exactly. You're the kind of place of pilgrimage of antiquity, a place where they perform the miracles. When the country was colonized, inhabitants had to convert to the new religion. The region closes upon itself. Our ancestors built the tower and began compiling all the oral knowledge of the old times. The Delators, the order of the priestesses, had welcomed the representatives of the other cults, coming from everywhere trying to escape persecution and wanting their knowledge to survive at any price. To sum it up, you're inside one of the largest libraries of opulent knowledge in the world. We silently go back to the living room. The ambience is ominous, and it feels like what had just happened will have a huge impact on my future. Mom takes an armchair and I sit on the sofa. So do you understand why Yves Maltaire can't, at any cost, get inside the tower? He already has the whole town at his feet. Without having to access the archives, I don't know what he would be capable of if he could take advantage of the knowledge contained in the tower. Exactly. The Delators have refused access to the tower to Maltaire for generations and generations, and for good reason. But until then, it was a losing battle because it had been several generations that no Delator could perform the miracles. That's why I left, and prevent you from living in this perpetual conflict. Why do you think I can change things? Deep inside, I always knew you were different. I tried to protect you as much as I could, to prevent you from carrying this burden. If you had stayed in this village, your grandmother would have raised you as if you were the Messiah. I wanted you to be able to choose your own path. I'll avenge our family. I have to protect the village. I'll protect the village. How would I avenge my family? What's the point in that? Now I'm aware of my responsibilities. I can't run away from them. I have to protect the village from the messiahs or any other threat. Do you realize what you're getting into? I do, but as you said, it's my destiny. I can feel a kind of pride coming from my mother. You walked into a solitary, difficult path, and I'll do my best to help you through it. But enough talk about this. Tell me about your life, about all I've missed. We stay for a long while, Mom and I chatting in the living room. And I go to get some groceries at the market and we prepare dinner together, both enjoying this renewed complicity. A couple days later, I'm at the bakery getting some bread. Just when I've paid and leaving, I find myself face to face with Soline Matière and her son. There's a moment of surprise, and I'm about to greet her, and she starts yelling at me copiously. What? Ah, congratulations! I'm glad I came across you. I haven't had the opportunity to congratulate you on the classy way you welcomed my father. I'm sorry. I try to be nice. I even agree to have coffee with you, despite the reputation of delators. And 2 weeks later, you welcome my father with a rifle? If I hadn't had my son with me... Apologize? No, I'm gonna... And you never get tired, you all, the Maltaires, of all the unfound accusations? Here's the first time I got the moon. Think of yourself for once, instead of believing anything your father says. And when I thought we could have been friends, but I'm afraid I've been wasting my time. I've been working for this file for a whole month, and you don't even have the decency to give my father 10 minutes to listen to what we've prepared. And then, you want me to pose as the nasty one? Have a look at the mirror, Daphne. I really can't see what my brother sees in you. She turns on her heels and I'm a bit wounded by her behavior, and most of all, the way her father manipulates her. What a shame. When I get to the castle, I found Mom reading on the sofa. I tell her about my confrontation with Celine Maltier and how just she was to treat me like she did. Then I tell her I'm going to get some air, but I need to think it through to calm down. Without notice, she takes me in her arms and holds me tight. I enjoy this moment of tenderness, so rare coming from her. I feel she's sorry for me, for this burden I decided to carry, and this unfair quarrel with the Maltiers that I have to deal with. I put on a scarf and coat. It's cold outside, biting and invigorating at the same time. It's a nice, sunny winter day, which changes from the fog and the showers we had put up with all November long. I'm walking around in the forest. I'm lost in thought and I realize my feet took me on a small clearing with a kind of oval pool in the center. Uh-oh. I suddenly have a shiver. Did the temperature drop? Snow's falling again. I realize the day has died. The last rays of sunlight are about to get behind the treetops. I know I should turn around, go back to the castle before it's too dark to see. Am I dreaming? I can't look away from the pool. I draw closer and closer until I get into the water without really noticing. The freezing cold pierces my feet like thousands of needles. The pain seems almost unreal, as if I was in a dream. I go further. I know it's a bad idea, but I can't refrain. I have water up to the knees. I watch my reflection in the pool, but there's nothing strange about this Daphne. White as a sheet with a feverish look. It looks back at me at the surface of the pool. Just like that, I feel like I'm overtaken by the void and a biting cold liquid encompasses me wholly. What the heck's behind you? For an instant, the darkness is complete. I'm in a kind of woolly cocoon, the heat and the characteristic smell of wood fire overwhelming my senses. I hear distant voices, but I'm unable to move. A chance I found her there, if I hadn't gone hunting. Back, Gerard. I'm worried sick. She left 3 hours ago. With the night? Did you call her man, Frank? Yes, I've talked to him. He's coming back as soon as he can. Madame Sophie, come over here. She's waking up. You gave us quite a scare. What happened? I was having a walk, was coming back home, and... Gerard found you in the forest. You were unconscious and you had fallen in freezing water. We were lucky to find you so quickly. Next to Mom, I make out a man wearing a mustache and a suit. He noisily closes a briefcase and says, "Well, if you don't mind, I got to go, Miss Delator. You were very lucky. It could have been worse." "Thank you for coming so fast, Dr. Zakaran." I don't know why I said it like that. As for her leg, it's a crack of the knee bone. Nothing to do but to wait for it to heal. She must have strained it, but it may take a few months at least. She might have some difficulties walking. I'll go get her grandfather's walking stick in the hall. Grandmother! I recommend a couple of days of rest. Complete rest, and she'll be back on her feet. Here, I signed you a sick leave notice. Great, substitute has to take a sick leave. Thank you, Doctor. I realize little by little that they're talking about me. I'm in the living room. There's a blazing fire in the fireplace, and I'm coiled up in a heavy mohair blanket. I sit back on the sofa. When I put a foot down trying to get up, I feel a dull ache in my right leg. "Careful, miss. You're going to hurt yourself. The doctor said you had to rest." In an unbearable effort, I managed to spurt out, "I think I will stay on the sofa." I lie down again and instantly fall dreamlessly. When I come back to my senses, the fire's almost out, save for a couple of cinders in the back of the fireplace. The cold light of the morning comes through the window. Miss Boyatine's asleep in an armchair just in front of me, snug up in a plaid. I hear noises coming from the kitchen. I put my feet on the ground and I can still feel this dull pain when I'm trying to get up. A walking stick with a finely woven brass pommel had been put next to me. Leaning on it, I managed to crawl towards the kitchen. Mom was making herself a coffee, her back turned. "Mom? Daphne, you shouldn't..." She stops talking. I can read a sudden dread in her eyes. "Daphne, your hair." I turn sideways to look in the mirror above the chest in the hall, and I discover with horror that several strands of my hair have turned gray around my face. Hey guys, welcome back. So as you probably noticed in the last half of the video, it freaked out. I couldn't get the image to work right, and it wouldn't let me pass at all. So what happened, I'll just explain what happened. Her hair changed color. We don't know why. I don't know if they explained it. It won't let me go back. I've tried. If I click the reload, it takes me back to this one. So apparently it saved on me, and I didn't know, so I missed like what was left of that, and I have no idea why you can see my mouse. Get rid of that. Okay. So yeah, stuff happened. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but that was some of the things that did happen. I know, it's a horribly bad explanation, but sadly that is how we have to go with it, because it would be kind of hard to, well, actually it wouldn't be super hard, but there's no like fast forward button, so sadly we cannot. That is the life of the things. Anyway, let's get going. It probably actually isn't that much longer in the chapter, I hope, maybe. So let's get going. After a couple of days of resting, I see Dr. Zakaran again, and he allows me to resume working. He confirms I might have a hard time walking for a long while. It's very depressing news, and I don't like feeling myself diminished. As for my gray hair, he tells me it's a consequence of the shock I've experienced. It was a relatively rare phenomenon, but there's no need to worry about it. I admit, I didn't think much about it with all I recently went through. I guess I probably end up dying it. I had Frank on the phone, but he seems to have something else on his mind. He seems concerned about me, though. He told me to be back and we'd have to talk. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what he's preparing, but I feel uneasy about it. When I go back to school, a man in a suit is waiting for me in front of the classroom. He introduced himself as Mr. Mueller, National Education Inspector. Really? When I come back from class? Okay. He proceeds then to take a seat in the back of the class and begins to take notes. My thoughts are elsewhere, and I happen to lose the thread of my explanation several times, feeling either of his condescending gaze at the back of my neck or his irritation toward my every word doesn't help me focus. Hopefully he see me with my walking stick would make him feel more lenient, but it doesn't seem to touch him one bit. Yeah, he's not very nice, is he? At the end of the day, Mr. Miller scolds me copiously, yelling with big gestures that he's never seen anything like this and that there would be consequences. Unfortunately, I don't have much to say for my defense. The storm passed, trying to shorten his unpleasant moment. I've been out of school, I got injured, what do you expect from me? When I get back into my car to drive home, I'm already fuming. As I park into the yard, I discover that Frank's van is already there. I'm glad he's back. He's been away a long time. As soon as I'm out of the car, I can see him waiting for me at the threshold. Daphne. Hello, Frank. We need to talk. I follow him into the living room. I can see he's fuming. I haven't seen him in this state of cold anger for a very long time. Not since the day I've taken my things and left him 6 months ago. Our relationship is at a crossroads again, and I'll have to choose my words carefully if I want to avoid a bloodbath. I came across your mother. She told me to do what I had to, and that you shouldn't wait for her for dinner. Ah, okay. She told me for your hair too, but I must admit it's quite a shock. We stay silent for a while, carefully avoiding each other's gaze. Frank ends up breaking the silence. He takes a big breath and spits out, I don't like the situation one bit. I can't go on any longer. I know I probably forced your hand when I moved into the village without consulting you. Besides, you've been acting strange since I came here. At my house, I don't want us to get back together. I don't want to lose you. Oh. Loaded questions. Or statements, really. I don't want to lose you. I like you. But I don't want to lose you. Now you don't want to lose me? What did you imagine, Daphne, that I would stay at your feet just like that, waiting quietly for you to throw me a bone? If you really wanted to give us a chance, you should have behaved differently. What did I do wrong? I haven't done anything wrong. I'm sorry. I behaved badly. What did I do wrong? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just break anything I touch. No way. If you think you win me over with your doe-eyed look, you'll better think again. First, there's this Maltier. I'm not blind. I can see you been dancing around each other right from the start. It's not my fault. It was just a flirt. I don't know. Oh, crap. It was just a flirt. There was nothing serious going on. I'm sorry if you got hurt. I didn't think it would hurt anyone. I didn't know what I was doing. Stop lying to me. But I'm telling the truth. Are you kidding me? I don't have your proof, but I know you. I know he came to the castle when I was away. Oh, we're fucked, aren't we? But no, and that's not all. Never mind. It's only a drop in the ocean anyway. Besides, there's this cursed thing with Miss Levke, this poor woman. How can I know what would happen? It doesn't matter if you believe it or not, but Daphne I used to know would never have framed anyone with the threat of a curse. I guess it all went to your head, your inheritance, the castle. I'm sure that deep inside you let people think that you're a witch. So what? Why do you care? You've changed. Even the way you look. Well, I didn't have anything to do with this hair, I must say. I don't recognize you anymore. The way you dress, the side part in your hair. And before you say anything, it's nothing to do with your gray hair, okay? Thanks. Thanks for making sure it's better. Doesn't look like you, Daphne. There's an awkward silence. I have tears in my eyes. Frank seems to be deeply in thought, as if he's weighing the pros and cons. The feeling unease has invaded the place to the point of being unbearable. I decide to speak, telling him, Stay. Stay. Sorry. Please, don't leave me. I've been stupid. I didn't know what I was doing. Will you forgive me? It stays for a while, and then the hammer falls. I failed. No, I'm sorry. We're done. You and I. He gets up looking at me with a horrendous disdain. Farewell, Daphne. I wish you a lot of happiness. Your castle, your Maltaires, your witchcraft stories. Then he leaves the room. When I hear the engine of the van disappear into distance, I'm struck by the conviction I will never see him again. After Frank has left, I stay alone in the living room, dumbstruck for a long while. Then, without notice, I burst into tears. How can he be so cruel? I had forgotten how much he can hurt me, to blame me for embracing my legacy, my roots, and such an intolerance. How can he think it's my fault if I'm different, if I'm a witch? When the tears finally dry out, I pour myself a glass of white wine from the fridge and decide if I deserve a cigarette to calm my nerves. As I walk across the house, I realize my mother has made herself extremely discreet. I don't know if I should be grateful or blame her again for having her ways to avoid this kind of situation. She can't really pretend to ignore I'm there when every one of my steps is followed by the click of my walking stick on the old wooden floors. I go to my bedroom to take my pack of cigarettes, light one up, and let myself fall at the foot of my bed. I realize I'm in front of the mirror. The image reflecting is that of a young woman, a lip blemish, frail, looking lost, and these gray strands. Suddenly, I come to the decision my hair can't stay this way. They have to do something about it, right now. I go to the bathroom and I search around frantically, sure to have seen one time a couple of boxes of hair dye somewhere around the room. A few minutes later, I finally find them back in the drawer. It's probably my grandmother's stock. The label says jet black, permanent dye. Sounds perfect. Exactly what I need to show the rest of the world I belong to the Delator family and definitely embrace my status of a witch. I follow instructions applying colored paste, rinsing thoroughly at the end of the processing time. A quick blowout later, my auburn hair mixed with white has turned into a uniform shiny black, the color of the crow's wing. I kinda like the auburn hair with white, it looked awesome. This new look hardens my features a little bit and gives the illusion that my complexion is paler than it was. As I'm inspecting my reflection, I realize with satisfaction that the image I see is the very aspect identical to the one that appeared to me in my dreams several times during these last months. I get up early the next morning. I have a long day ahead of me. I have to talk to Stan now that Frank has left. We'll have a lot to discuss. I started giving him a call, asking him to meet me at the village's bistro in the afternoon. Then I retired to the tower, through the archives, the wells of wisdom only waiting for me to deliver their secrets. At the end of the afternoon, I take my car to meet Stan at the bistro. He's sitting in the corner with a large backpack on the floor next to him. He's reading a book, but looks around at regular intervals. He catches my eyes, but he gets back to his book instantly. I guess he hasn't recognized me with my walking stick and my jet black hair. I sit across from him. Good evening, Stan. Oh, Daphne, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you. What happened to your leg? I hurt myself in an accident in the forest. Nothing serious if I hadn't fallen in freezing water. Oh, sorry to hear that. Are you okay? What about your hair? I dyed them. I got some white hair after the incident. Besides, since everyone was so sure I'm a witch, I have chosen an appropriate color. I pointed to his backpack with my chin. Going somewhere? Oh, not by choice, but after what happened between you and Yves, he was seriously pissed. He threw me out just to calm his nerves. I'm about to talk, but Stan goes on. But I assume you didn't ask me to meet you here just to hear me complain. Did you talk to Frank? Yes, it's done. He left. I see his face brighten with a mix of joy and incredibility. Really? Does that mean we could go forward together? I'm at a crossroads. My ex-boyfriend has left me for good, for the second time in 1 year. I could start something serious with Cornelius. I can see he's very eager for it. Besides, in these circumstances, it means allowing him to move in at the castle. Am I ready to do this? Oh crap, there's a bunch of relationship crap going on. Moving the stand, break up the stand. Like, I don't need no man. You need me. I don't know. My goodness gracious. It just seems wrong when the Maltair come into the house. Yeah, I'll take a minute. Come live with me at the castle. Only waiting for one word from you. Sam moves the table that separates us and kisses me with passion. Oh, that doesn't work. Try to take a picture. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Pays up, and a couple minutes later we're home, about to start this new chapter of our story. The holiday season came very fast. I spend them at home with Mom and Boytons. Mom wasn't fond of the idea of Stan moving in at the castle, but he's doubled up a charm to win her, and now she accepts him to be in the same room with him. No news from Yves Maltieres, not since he's come to show me his offer, and his plans have stopped by Mom. I've decided not to worry about it yet. I need time to get over everything I've learned. Right? Like, everything. I spent most of my time in the tower, learning about the rich past of my family in the area. I'm glad to have put the several years of Latin in high school. Even I would never have guessed it would be useful in such circumstances. The stories inside the illuminated books are really fascinating, especially all the stuff about the source and the entities that covered it. I still have these strange dreams. They're different now. I'm still in the forest, but the episodes of the pool and the Sphinx don't occur anymore. Maybe because all that already happened? Every time the dream ends up with me meeting with a strange beast. We look at each other for a while. I have a feeling it's trying to tell me something, but I can't put it into words. It's as if it wanted something from me, and then it turns heel and disappears into the bushes. Strange. And there's that beast right there. Alright guys, well that wraps up what's left of chapter 5. So I'll see you guys in the next chapter, chapter 6 right there. And until then, Kaze out. Bye guys. Until next time.